we were talking about this yesterday, but we were talking about the female friendships because you said
Yeah.
you saw a tweet about a woman saying that they feel like the male friends that they have should buy them flowers.
Yeah. Delusional, psychopathic. Okay, I'm not gonna say psychopathic,
First
but
of all,
a little delusional, a little deranged.
nobody should be doing nothing. First of all, let's eliminate that whole
Yeah.
concept of anybody should
Nobody owes nobody anything
be.
on
Yeah,
this earth at all. Nobody.
yeah. Respect maybe,
Yeah. But even that, you don't owe
right. You
anybody
don't.
that.
Yeah. Off the
Realistically,
rip, you
nobody
don't.
owes nobody
I don't know
anything.
you, so yeah. So I also don't. Yeah, nobody knows anybody anything.
Well, you should maybe do like what was recommended, yeah, but nobody should like do anything.
Yeah,
It's
nobody's obligated to do nothing for
Yeah.
you. Now, for me, as a male that you've known to have a lot of women friends, not anymore because we'll get into why. But nah, I'm as a single man, and I've never been single for as long as I've lived.
like, what? You've been single as long as you live. You were
Not when
single
I was
up
like,
until like age like what, 14?
yeah, well, obviously,
But you're saying ever since you started dating,
my
you haven't been single? Yeah, you have. Well,
well, yeah, oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Short periods of time, but
but you've been in
if
pretty much
you're
consistent
yeah,
relationships.
so in relationships, definitely not. Nobody's gonna buy their woman friend anything.
Yeah.
But if I was single, why would I go? Why would I do that? Because then
Yeah, because like I don't know, like I could get maybe for the graduation, but even
Throw
then, it's
flowers
still
out the
kind of a
blue?
weird. I don't know, like could parents buy their kids flowers for graduation? So it's not like it's a romantic gesture, but
maybe if you have that type of relationship, I guess, or friendship, like
I think it would have to be for an event, like if it maybe a birthday, a graduation, but like out of the blue, like which maybe I don't know if that's what the girl was like
that's probably what
trying
she's
to
saying.
get at. It's
'Cause-
weird.
Yeah, because she didn't say for a celebration. She probably just means
Yeah.
out the blue, like just trying to be nice.
Like did be nice, like here's some flowers.
No, I guess if
I
you
was
have
thinking
that,
about you.
if you have that type of friendship, then sure. Maybe if she's buying you stuff too, whatever the male equivalent of flowers is, I don't
Yeah.
know. Then maybe y'all have that relationship, sure. But nobody's gonna be just straight up buying you that kind of stuff, doing relationship related things. Like,
Because that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people like, and that's why tweets like that are starting to appear now. Is a lot of people, and like we were talking about this before, like with the whole reason why relationship topic stuff keeps coming up so much on social media. A lot of people our age and a little bit younger and a little bit older are all in that same timeline where we're all getting close to 30, and a lot of women have imaginary timelines about what they should be doing by a certain age. So society will say you should be married by 30. Like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, well, I'm 25, I'm gonna be married, I'm gonna have my first kid. Like so many people put these timelines on themselves because 25 sounds so far when you're 15, right? But then 25 comes and you're single and no relationship prospects. And now 27 comes, same thing, like nothing really is moving. So I think people are starting to get to like this really desperate stage. The biological clock is starting to tick. So people feel like they're running out of time. So I think people are just getting to this like desperation stage. And I think that's like one of the signs of the desperation. Like you're so yearning for love and relationship connection that now you're trying to get some type of romantic gesture out of a male friend. And you want to be a part of that social media. Oh, I got flowers, post a picture with the bouquet, but not saying necessarily who got you them so people could think that maybe it's a partner,
yeah, it's kind of like how you were just showing me the like people purchasing engagement style rings.
Yeah, like why are you wearing an engagement type of ring? And then they'll wear it on their ring finger sometimes too. Like that's weird. And then the whole thing would be, oh, I like the style of them. It's like you could like the style of them, but why are you wearing it? Like to make it kind of look like it's an engagement ring. Like
Yeah,
it's a little iffy.
yeah. So
that's weird.
to just break down the dynamic, and this is
Well, female friends.
yeah, this is a word of advice, and this is probably gonna be more so something that I'll speak on more so than you.
Yeah,
But-
because I never personally had any male friends ever. So I can't really speak on the whole female male friendship dynamic. Like I've had male friend associates, right? Like I would never consider any guy friend I've had to ever be a friend. Like I never it's not like we texted and had like conversation on the side. Like we might have talked in a group chat or I might have seen you in person, but it's not like we were texting like actually having a friendship. Like I never had that with a guy. So
Yeah,
I really cannot speak on the platonic male female friendship dynamic because I never experienced it.
yeah. For me, I've pretty much had a ton of women friends,
Yeah.
platonic friends, and the thing I will say about it is that because we talked about this before, and I don't know if you necessarily agreed with me on it, but I think in general people become friends with people that they find attractive, even if it's same sex or opposite sex. I don't. I'm like pretty confident in saying that people only want to be around people that they actually end up finding attractive. For
Yeah, I
example,
think when you're younger, not necessarily. Like when you're kindergarten,
yeah,
first grade,
yeah, of course,
like lots of people's childhood friends might just be any random group of looking people because like you're just friends with proximity. But I do think, especially when you get older, like college, probably more so, even high school a little bit, right? People do adjust their friendships in high school, but definitely college, you go into college with the mindset like I want, and adult friendships. People want that good looking girl group so they could just feel like attractive, cute girls together. Like, people definitely do be having friends for aesthetics and like they
right.
want the good looking guys around so they feel like, that just, you get that energy of good looking people.
Right. So when it's same sex, right? Like women like to be around other women that look good because they're like, oh my god, oh my,
Yeah, like with my baddies, and there
baddie.
comes with benefits too. Sometimes having like a
Right.
good looking group of girls, and
Because
then
you'll
you
get
guys
more
get in
attention.
places, yeah,
Right.
drinks, free drinks.
And men the same way, but I know men don't look at it that way. But yeah, you want to be around all of the men that are Mr. Bitches
Yeah,
because you
because
want
it brings
to.
women around,
Right.
and
Exactly.
you might
So,
get the straggler. Like if you might be like the least attractive friend, or
but you
whatever,
still might get
you still might
something.
get that like a straggler in the girl group, right? Like
Right. That's why guys want to be in an entourage with a famous rapper because or entertainer because you might get something just from being in proximity.
yeah,
So in general, people like to be around people same sex or opposite sex that are attractive, and also if you have good personality too, of course, right? So now as a male, if I have a good personality and I'm also attractive, and this woman is my friend, she's going to whether consciously or subconsciously view me as being a potential relationship prospect
yeah,
because she likes my personality and she likes the way I look. So now she's going to view me in that way, subconsciously or consciously, right?
yeah,
So the reason where this goes wrong, and I've seen it so many times, especially when, can't trust everything that's on the internet. So who knows if some stuff was trolls or setups or whatever. But they were like that one kind of prank, I guess, where women were texting their
yeah.
male best friends, like,
Like
hey, I'm trying
baby
to
shit,
be
yeah.
like, come over whatever day, and then they post the male's response. The reason why you see such a strong response from the men is because that's kind of what the point of being in proximity is for you. And of course, platonic relationships could exist. I mean, platonic friendships could exist, but realistically, it's so unrealistic for that to happen, especially
And nobody wants to admit that. Nobody ever wants to admit it. Like people like to fight tooth and nail for their platonic
right.
friendships, and like I'm sure there are genuine
There's definitely
platonic
some, but
friendships out there. I'm sure there are.
more commonly than not, and you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
Like we're not gonna get no details, but we've seen some things.
seen it a few times.
We've seen some things, and especially as you get older, that doesn't become as platonic because people are getting older and they're not in a relationship.
And it
So it's
kind of goes
like,
to what I was just saying about like the time, the biological clock. People start to scramble. They're like, you know what? Like my friend is a good looking guy, and he is doing this, and he is doing that.
right?
He's been in my.
They check all the
I've
boxes.
been overlooking him all this time,
They
and he's still here for all these years. Like,
yeah, the I wish I had a guy that was just like you.
yeah,
So I check all the boxes, right? Is what you're saying. So
yeah,
I'm who you want then, basically.
yeah.
Like you're looking for me.
Which is funny though, because then you wonder like why some people go into the relationship as a friendship in the first place. Like maybe you know what? Maybe they didn't think of you that way 100% at first. But I don't know. I feel like people who try to like become friends with like attractive guys. Well, you know what? Because attraction is the first thing,
For,
right? But then once you actually get their personality and you see how they are, like you might see how they are in their relationships over the years, like with different women, and then you start to see them and like, okay, like he had like a really good personality. You start to like fall for the personality, and
from
you
what
already know they look good.
from what I've seen in my experiences is that it's because they're
They're in
focused on
something.
someone else.
Yeah,
So they're focused on this person, and just because you pop up doesn't mean that they're gonna switch that focus. But once
that's
that
true.
doesn't work out, or that's faltering,
Yeah,
then they're not blinded anymore, and now they're more open to looking at different things.
that's true.
So like in my opinion, and this is a word of advice, and I hate giving advice because this is just based off my own opinion, and everybody's experiences is different. So if y'all listening to this, I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. But in my experience, from what I've seen and dealt with, it's extremely difficult, but not impossible to have platonic friendships with women. And that's not coming from me pursuing or trying to have any advances with these women. It's always the other way around. And I've had to cut them off in respect of our relationship because it's like, I know I check all the boxes off, and that's why you're friends with me in the first place. And the more I accomplish and the more I do and the more you see how our relationship has developed and the way we look aesthetically,
Yeah.
it's like, I know that's what you want. And I know you would want to go further with that. And it's like, I'm kind of who you want at the end of the day. So why are we even pretending to be friends, really?
Yeah, and that's why like you see a lot of female male friendships end up fizzling out, and lots of times
Right.
women like to blame the men for that. And yeah, there are definitely a lot of scenarios where the man is the person that is in that shoes, right? Like, but I feel like in your situations, it's always been like you weren't into the girls like that, but they were into you like that.
Yeah, because I'm in a
Like,
relationship, so it's a little bit different.
yeah, but even if you weren't in a relationship, you still might not viewed any of like your female friends that way because like
Yeah.
you just
If I valued the friendship for real.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. I do genuinely value friendship for real.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys on, like,
I
guys
think
out
a lot of
here,
guys value their friendships too.
they do, but there's a ton of guys that are just horny.
Yeah.
So,
And they
like,
know that they're kind of like keeping that friend. Like they want to be like that shoulder to cry on when
right.
her,
Because
her
they want to be in
boyfriend is-
proximity
yeah.
for the potential chance. So they just be horny.
Yeah.
For me, I value the friendship
it's
more
equal.
than anything. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But in my experience, and this is just kind of a little bit of word advice, never telling anybody what to do, but definitely tread lightly when it comes to women friendships if you are in a relationship specifically. Because if
Yeah.
you're single, go do whatever you want. The only thing I would say with that is that just keep in mind that you could potentially ruin a good friendship with trying to pursue somebody romantically.
Yeah.
But if you're in a relationship, bro, just go get some male friends and just go ball out with them and go to the
Yeah.
club and stuff like that, or
And
whatever it is that you do. Because
The unfortunate part about that, it's not like it's the girlfriend, because some people like to be like, "Oh, it's the girlfriend that's making
Nah, hell no.
make you try to get away." Like in my
To be-
experience, I've always been supportive of the women friendships until they start crossing boundaries. Like I've always was like, "It's cool." Like I support the friendship. Like you guys, are good friends. But the second that you do something that's like weird,
Right.
now I have an issue because like what, why you, first of all, why are you being fake to me, and second of all, like, ew, like you're weird.
let me expound on that for you to give you a lot of credit here. So, yeah, that's 100% true. You've never presented any sort of jealousy or issue
I
or
promise you, I was not
problem
jealous of any of
with
them.
any woman friend that I've ever had.
I had no reason to.
No
No
reason
offense.
to. I don't necessarily think I gave you any reason to either. You could say that. I'm not gonna speak for you.
No, like only thing is like you never necessarily gave me a reason. It was more so like them, like when they start crossing boundaries. Like, why are you texting my man at 1 a.m.? Yeah, I have an issue with that
Yeah.
because like that's weird. Like
Yeah.
even I don't know. It depends. I mean, back then it was college, so we all were up late. Late nights was a normal thing, so it wasn't that crazy. But
Yeah. It wasn't you that
it wasn't like you that did anything. It
you
was them.
you weren't sitting there like, nah, you can't have women friends. You
Yeah,
can't.
I was
Like,
never a crazy girlfriend like
literally
that.
never. You
Yeah.
never said those words. To
No.
me. Even after they've done something crazy,
Yeah.
you never was like, cut her off, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. It's more so.
I never was a crazy girlfriend.
Definitely not. Now, and now once they cross a certain boundary, then that's
Yeah,
now
it's
you're in
different.
different territory,
Yeah.
right? So that definitely is a fact. So it's not that a girlfriend is necessarily the reason why you can't have women friends. It's the women friends are the reason why you can't have women
I
friends.
can understand that advice though if it was like the girlfriend, because some women are really insecure.
They are.
Like I've never gave insecure. Like I don't like disrespect, but I'm not insecure. So like I never was a crazy girlfriend type because I'm not insecure. But there are a lot of girls who are really insecure. That are, and they do need that reassurance from their boyfriends. And a lot of insecure women really do just have issues with women friends,
Right. And it goes
sometimes for good reason. Because sometimes
true.
they might have been through stuff, they seen stuff.
both ways too. Like the men that don't want their significant
Yeah.
other to go outside because they are
Or the men
just
who don't want their
insecure.
significant other having male friends because
Right.
they know how men are.
Right. So it definitely goes both ways.
But I personally never had an issue with the woman friendships, and you know
Yeah.
that.
For sure. So that's where I wanted to give you your credit. So it definitely is possible for your woman, significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever, to be okay with the women friends, but in my experience, what it's always been is the woman friend crosses a boundary because they
Yeah,
know you. They
especially if you don't first, because sometimes they wait for you to do
right,
it.
and then when you
But if
never
they see that
do,
you're not that, like, and that's another thing too. People like, especially if you're in a relationship, they see, okay, this is a real loyal, good guy. Like, he's not even trying anything with me. Like, he must, something must be wrong with him.
yeah, women be
Like,
wired a little backwards sometimes
yeah,
because
they was
they'll
like, now they
see.
want, yeah, they see that you're being loyal, so that makes them want you. Like,
Yeah, that makes them want you to be unloyal. So it's, women are
but then they
interesting.
feel, cause then they also feel like that if you're unloyal, then they feel like, cause sometimes that makes them question how they view themselves. Like, dang, maybe I'm not,
Like he really don't
maybe I'm
want
not
me.
that popping,
Yeah,
cause he's not even trying to like cheat with me.
yeah.
So then that makes you want to. That makes them want to pursue you even more,
Even
because
if
then you
you,
become more of a challenge,
and they think that even if you don't, if you didn't act on it, they just want some sort of
like
like
validation. Yeah,
acknowledgement of them.
yeah, like that they're attracted to.
Right. Yeah.
Like
So
even like when I was just telling you about the, I was seeing like those old things about like, oh, a friend calling you attractive. It's
yeah.
almost like funny because you didn't say it like that back. It was almost like maybe at that moment she's like, dang, you're not attracted to me, because like she admitted her attraction to you, but then you didn't say nothing back. So that could have been a moment like, dang, like I thought this was gonna be like an easy, like, oh, he's gonna say, yeah, you're attractive too, blah blah blah. But we will never do that.
Yeah.
And the
No.
fact that you didn't even say like it's just weird. Like women's psychology is really crazy, and that's why I do think women are horrible
And
people.
that was your friend.
Women are, yeah, and that was my right friend. So it's crazy. Friend. I don't think I've ever had really actually any real friends except like two people ever, and those two people
Yeah.
are still in my life. So
That's why, like, yeah, that's why it really comes down to like men, in my opinion. If for the sake of your relationship, tread it the lightest you possibly can when it comes to women friends because it's if you're dope, like you're cool in real life, like you're really popping,
yeah,
like there's a lot of check boxes that a woman that you have checked off that a woman would like. Tread
be
very
careful.
lightly because
And I feel like you
you
check those boxes at all points of your life.
yeah,
So in school you
I'll let
checked
you say
off,
that.
yeah. Like in school you checked off like, obviously you had the looks, right? But then on top of that, like for the time, everybody like how you dressed was considered like a better dress than most people, right? Then on top of that, like you like that's when kind of when the fade hairstyle was first becoming a thing. Like I feel like people don't really have like really fades like that. Like by 2014, 2015 when you really start seeing a lot of the fades and the growing out hair, and then the waves, that ever happened. So you was always like the hair was always looking good. You were able to grow facial hair. A lot of people struggle with the facial hair stuff, right? You had that. Then on top of that, like if you want to be superficial, you come from a two-parent household, like in a nice neighborhood, nice size house, right? Like you have the big house with the nice basement. And then, you take it a step further, it's like, like that's like the materialistic superficial, like, okay, he has money, like he comes from a good home. And then you take it a step further. Your major is like in business. So it's like, okay, so he's has a good head on her shoulder. You're in college. Clearly you already have a good head on your shoulders. But now you're also in a in a business major. It's like, okay, he's about to be making money when he gets out of here. So then you have like the personality. And then, to seal the deal is like you're in a relationship. So you look like you're committable. Like it shows that you're a committable man. And people like the image of a guy who could commit. Because realistically, freshman year, nobody was committed. We were like the only couple. There weren't a lot of couples, right? Like people might have had like their couples, like, but no, I don't think anybody was really like serious except for us. And
well, I
so
appreciate
we
that. Thank
checked a
you.
lot of boxes.
I appreciate
And
that.
obviously now it's like even more like, now you have the career,
Yeah.
you got the 6-figure salary, like
That's when I started
you
getting
still
them.
dressing really well. Obviously, like, you had the brand new car that you got like right after graduation that you paid off in 2 years. So it's like you're still checking boxes, and it's just I know people are probably like literally
Well,
going crazy,
we've seen
like
it.
like mad, almost like dang, like how'd you get lucky?
Yeah,
Like to me,
we've seen it.
it's like, well, you kind of attract what you are. So maybe I'm not lucky. I just attracted my match.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like I've gotten certain interactions or messages like, oh, like
Yeah,
reminiscing, like maybe we had some interaction
yeah, like
previously,
oh
and
I
then I
should,
was like,
yeah,
oh, regret.
yeah, like you start to get that around this age. You start to get the, you know, like once we got
Right.
closer to our late 20s, you start the mid 20s and late 20s, you start to get the
Because you
whole
can
like,
see.
dang, like, oh, I should have saw the vision, or I did see the vision, but I did, I was trying to play around. It was like,
Funny, what's funny enough? And I'm gonna try to make it as ambiguous as possible in case they're watching. One of the people that we were discussing at dinner yesterday, like liked all of the stories from.
Yeah, cause now they see the pasta and lobster. Oh look, cause people care about aesthetics. Oh, she
Yeah.
eating the pasta and lobster like the song. So now it's like, oh look, they doing nice stuff. They have to what was it, $3 sign, $4 sign restaurant. Ooh,
It
like
was
everybody,
for.
people love the aesthetics and they love the look of stuff. Like you got the pinky ring and the watch in the picture. Like people just like the image,
Two finger.
and they probably like, dang, this could have been me at that dinner table.
And the
But it couldn't
funny,
have been you
you know what the
because
funny
it
thing
wasn't
is?
your fate to be for it to be you. Sorry,
Aside from that, the funny thing about that stuff is it really could have been.
it really could have been. That's
But you
funny
chose
part.
you chose wrong.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Oop, my
It's like
bad.
the
That's
lottery. You
not-
pick the wrong numbers, you don't win. But should have picked me.
Especially back then.
Haha. Next time.
No, especially back then too, because people feel like they have so many options and so much time when we're younger. And yeah, like you should explore, right? You should be able to do those things, but you also should, if you see something right in front of you that you know is like valuable, even if it's whatever, like the timeline, then you just hold on to that. Like I feel like that's why I hate when people say that to me sometimes. Like, oh, how do you know? Like don't you feel like you should have been single? Like no one really said that to me personally, but you see those tweets like, oh, people who settle down in their early 20s, what's wrong with you? It's like, well, if you know you have something good, why would you waste time catching bodies? Like I'm glad I had to rack up a whole bunch of bodies to figure out what I wanted because I found what I wanted early in my life. Like I just it just so happened to be you were my first boyfriend. Like
I was about to say somebody specifically that told that to you, but we ain't gotta say no names.
yeah, everybody wants you to. And like I do encourage that. Like I do encourage having your fun. Like if that's what you want to do. But sometimes people do get lucky, and so why reject or break up with somebody when you know you have something good just to have that experience? Like you don't need that experience if you got lucky early enough.
Yeah, that would be another thing. If you have something good, don't lose it just because somebody on Twitter that's not even accomplished or is doing anything or is in a stable relationship is saying something, right? Because typically somebody that's in a good relationship is not going to then go basically on Twitter and say fuck all the people in the world you want, because that would put their own relationship in jeopardy, because then their partner's going to look at them crazy if they start tweeting like that. So all the people that you see saying these things aren't even in a relationship anyway.
They have nothing to show for it. Like that's like the funny part. So many people who try to give relationship advice, I'm like, what is your resume? Like you have no past experience.
And not that a relationship defines anything for anyone. Like it doesn't define who you are as a person. Like it doesn't mean everything.
Yeah.
But still, like, yeah, the person that's not in a relationship probably shouldn't be giving relationship advice.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going on Twitter in a good relationship and saying, yeah, I fucked so many people and I'm so glad I did it, but I'm in a good relationship now. You've never heard that.
A lot of those people end up regretting their whole phase. Like unless
There's
you're
nothing to show
a
for it.
hoe at heart.
You didn't even get any money.
Like unless you're a hoe at heart and really love that side of you, the people who do it because other people tell them to do it are the ones that usually end up regretting it and like going through life like miserable now and like feeling disgusted with themselves almost.
Right, because you didn't even get any money out of it. Like you got literally nothing out of it except you be able to tweet about it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Like you got
fantastic.
Your back cracks. What else?
Who hasn't, right? So like, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, it's crazy, and yeah, and I feel like so many people do that. Like I've actually seen a tweet about that recently where they said like women need to acknowledge the fact that they probably have lost a good man because of their friends telling them, listening to their friends.
Literally look at right.
And men too. Men have probably lost a good girl with
because they just want to be horny.
Yeah, like man, you need to go run through these girls. Like you don't need to.
Yeah, so I'm listening to your favorite rapper.
Yeah, because their lifestyle is a whole different world.
It's
like
a different world. It's entertainment.
They're living in that world. Like, so unfortunately, that's just going to be their life.
And stop trying to relate to people that aren't in the world that you're in. Like you're not in entertainment. It's just entertainment, bro.
Yeah.
Like look at it like that. You shouldn't then try to emulate the entertainer because you're not them. You don't have millions of dollars and you'll never have millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And of course, there's going to be the people that hear that, and of course, they might end up being a rapper or something like that. But I can guarantee you, there's a 99.99999% chance that that's not going to be you.
That's not
Like I study economics, bro. I look at the numbers. I look at the digits. It's not happening, right? Like even me, I'm in top. What am I top at least 10, but possibly 5% earners in the country at my age group, and I'm not throwing no money. You don't see. We ain't in no mansion.
Yeah.
And that's just me making what I make. I know for a fact that you look statistically, I don't even make a lot. And I'm still in top 10% at a minimum. Possibly top 5. I think it's top 5 though.
Yeah.
And I don't even make a ton. So I know damn sure y'all ain't making that money working at Best Buy. So like, don't try to emulate that. And then also, Don't be one of those people that missed out on a good person just because
Can you know when a person's a good person? Like
you know.
you don't need to test. You don't need to experience the other people. Like you know when somebody's has the traits, even if they're going through a weird moment in their life, right? Like where they might be doing things where their actions aren't aligning with who you know them to be. Because people, humans do have their stages, right? Like, but I feel like you know when something is good. Like I feel that's how I felt with our relationship. Like even when we went through like crazy times, right? Because we're young and stupid, we still like there was still you could see like the tunnel. Like that's why
Right.
that's why we're still here.
That's
Or we
why.
would have been broke up, but we didn't see that there was still very much value and potential in like this relationship.
That's why I don't feel bad for anybody that feels like they missed out because I've been doing this
Yeah.
forever at every stage. Like you said earlier.
Yeah.
I've been doing
Like
this.
at every stage you've been at the high, like on the higher end of
Right.
the checking the boxes, the higher end of the value.
And you missed out, and now you saying to me that you feel like you missed out. Now I'm really not gonna be friends with you. Because,
And like, why are you saying that too? Like when you know, like you already missed out, and I'm in a relationship. So what do you want me to say?
Yeah, what do you want me to do with that?
Like,
Right.
oh yeah, you did.
Which is why my
Let's try this
perspective.
again.
That's why my perspective is men can't have women friendships because
Yeah,
you see the pasta and lobster.
yeah, and that but here's the lyrics, and now they seeing it, and they're like, oh shit.
You see paying the valet. I'm in that 2007 RAF, Margiela and Dior, Brioni, and
Yeah.
not that brands matter, but like people care about that kind of stuff.
And especially the people that were, that saw you before all
You-
this.
you-
Like you were around before when I had no money. Like you were around when I had no job. So, and now you could have had that. Like that's the thing. So many women nowadays, like they date and they're pursuing money, but you could have had the man before the money, like and build with him.
Yeah, and
Because so many people don't want to do that. They don't want to grow with somebody. They want to meet somebody where they're already up. And you could have been with me through the journey.
right, and people are gonna be like, oh, how do you have the foresight to see who's gonna?
You
be
could
able to
see it.
do
You
it?
could see it.
I'm like, yo,
You could see it.
listen to me. You everything because the whole thing
You
is
were
the reason,
selling sneakers. Like you didn't even have a job, but you were selling stuff to get money. Like you've been had the hustle.
the reason why you're friends with me is like because of that kind of stuff in the first place. So
Yeah.
you've seen it. You just weren't really paying
Yeah,
attention
because
to
you was
what
wearing
was
the
happening.
Jordans, you was wearing
I've
the
been
Clifton
doing this
Castles,
forever.
the
Like this is not nothing
Obey,
new.
the Diamond Supply.
I've been me every single stage of my life. The only thing that's changed is I've become a more mature person. But everything I've done at a given moment, I've done to the highest quality, to the highest extent, better than everybody else. Right? Like I came into college, even before college, I was wearing whatever was popping at that time, and I've been doing that since then. I've been trying to get money as much as possible forever. I've been doing music forever. You see me pulling up beats I was making in 2012. Like I've been doing every single thing possible at every stage of my life.
And
I've been getting
the
money.
blueprint was there. Like,
My family has been the same.
Yeah.
I've been doing this forever. So
Yeah.
everything and that's why you liked me in the first place.
Yeah.
But for some reason in your mind, you didn't equate that to being where I am today.
Yeah.
All you had
You
to do
couldn't
was just
see-
pay attention.
Yeah,
All you had to
literally.
do was just literally look. Oh, he's doing X, Y, Z. Like, yeah, I got into college. Yeah, I have 2 degrees. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just upped my salary by over $100,000 in less than 4 years. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this. It's not nothing new. So don't tell me, oh, I wish I missed out. Oh, I should have married you in a pack. Like, no, don't tell me anything, right? Because you it could have been you, but it's not you. So
yeah.
goodbye. We're
Yeah,
no.
because it's like, what's the point in telling me that now? Like, it's almost like disrespectful.
Like, what you
actually.
want?
It's actually almost like a slap in the face. It's
right.
like,
Get
why are
off
you
my
telling me that
line,
now?
right? Like now, like
'Cause where were you back then?
back
Like,
then they didn't want me. Now
Yeah.
how the hoes all on me. Like
Yeah.
like
Ooh, and I'm sure that's way worse. Like, if you were to like make it in the music thing, that would always just be
Oh
so
my
funny to me. Cause I know
God.
people will come out the woodworks, and maybe not, cause some people might not. They might not.
They
wanna
might be too
they want-
prideful.
Yeah, too prideful. Don't want to embarrass themselves. But you know, people will come out the woodworks. Even like old friends. Like, dang, like,
because you see
'cause
that
I
now.
could have been right up with you guys. Like, no,
You see that now.
you wasn't meant to be.
people
in this timeline.
people talking crazy. Actually, we'll get to that at the end.
But
We'll get to that at the end. Don't you worry. Listen, I'm
Who
turned up. I'm
was
turned
talking
up in
crazy? Who was
2024.
talking crazy?
I'm turned up in 2024. Don't get me started.
I know we stand on business this year. I hate using meme talk, but we are standing on business in 2024.
Yeah,
As an even year number, and I like even year numbers.
yeah.
10 years since we graduated college. I mean, high school. 10 years, almost 10 years since we met. We met in August. No, we met in September technically, but we knew of each other in July. So it was almost 10 years of when we knew of each other, but we met in September. So this is like our golden year. Like everything is, yeah. And I'll be engaged this year. For anybody who cares, I'm just in that waiting limbo period.
Yeah.
But it'll be this year. So yeah. I just feel like, humans are like animals, like the animal kingdom. Females, I call them females in animal kingdom, pick the best mate. So I feel like humans are the same way, you know, like they're gonna pick their best mate. So I feel like if you're kind of like maybe like a, you know, not a valuable looking man, right, or like not a man that's deemed a value, then the friendship probably could definitely be more platonic. But I feel like if you just happen to be of a value, then you're just unfortunately gonna become. It's just not gonna, you know, it's never gonna end well. And I feel like, especially now at this age, like even being in a relationship, you're just gonna have like that weird vibe eventually with a woman because it's like, you know, that some of them might start scrambling
Yeah.
and just trying to pursue you, you know, and it just never ends well. I feel like, unfortunately, and then it ends up looking like it's the girlfriend or the wife that made you cut all your female friends off. When in reality, it's just the female friends that was just wilding out. Like you could have still been friends if you just knew your place as a friend, but it's just not possible sometimes to know your place because it was just bound to happen. So whether it happened back then or whether it would have happened now, like it was just almost like destined to happen when you're just considered a guy of like value. Because then, you know, you realize there's not that many people on both sides that are good catches, you know? Like you kind of know who a catch is. And I feel like people are like, dang, like this is my guy friend, but he's really a catch. And yeah.